Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast, Stacy Personally Speaking, where my thoughts become known. This is Season 1, Episode 173 of the Journey 365 series. Today's episode is about public holiday, cute hair, and real free food. Today was a holiday in Japan, with another one coming up on Thursday. But I couldn't tell you which holidays they are. I got up before the 6:30 alarm and pulled back the curtains by my window. I went and used the bathroom and started the washing machine, which had clothes soaking from the night before. I then proceeded to start my day with devotions. I felt a bit lighter today. I wasn't thinking about too much, though I still had a few things on my mind. But there was a certain peace, and I really enjoy experiencing this peace because the righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Psalm 64 verse 10 of the King James Version. I must remember that I am the righteousness of God, and to be glad in the Lord is my right. Help me, Jesus, to hold on to you, wrung from my heart and mind. I felt a little like I was slipping away, and I wasn't sure what that was about. I didn't have a clear plan of my day, but I did know of a few things I wanted to get done. So after my devotions, I washed up the items in the kitchen, fully intending to go back and do some stretching. But I have been fully convinced now that once I make my way to the kitchen after my devotions, exercises won't happen. I emptied the smaller garbage bins in the plastic bag and took it downstairs. Even though today was a holiday, the garbage schedule didn't change. Once I returned to my apartment, I set about preparing breakfast. I toyed with the idea of going to the supermarket to buy greens to make a smoothie, but I dismissed the thought. I told myself to use whatever was in the house because I'm actually way over budget because of camping preparations. And considering my lack of salary over the past 2 months, I have actually been living in the red zone. And so I decided on the right planting I'd taken from the cookout, with the last of the frozen green planting, which I decided to leave at the last minute as I prepared to go on the cookout. I had another of the small packets of bacon to go with the plantains. Everything was fried. I started off with the bacon in the oil which had already been in the pot. This turned out to be a terrible mistake because even though I had pat dried the bacon, the oil kept popping the entire time and burnt both my hands at several points. Fortunately, I got some tea tree oil and rubbed on the areas, as well as some peppermint and Vicks Vapor Rub. So I did not experience any swelling at all. The mess that was created from all the oil was popping was very unfortunate. But the plantains gave no trouble whatsoever. When I looked at my breakfast, I cringed somewhat. All this fried food to start the morning. But I did enjoy it for the most part. Would you believe I was hanging out clothes while handling all this frying? Yes, I was. I sat down to breakfast at 9:16 this morning. 9:16. After putting out the freshly washed laundry and making some hot tea. After breakfast, I didn't move from my entertainment spot. I started on my hair right away. I continued making the little twists in my hair until it was after 11 o'clock. I must admit, it was a nice chill time for me because I had found a really nice movie based off a true story. It had me crying a few times as I saw community at work and the importance of support. I believe we have lost some of that as a human race. When the movie ended, I still had another section of my hair to complete, which would take another 2 hours or so. I searched for another movie, but then decided to take a break from the screen and go and print a document at the convenience store. I returned to my hair after having a slice of toast and a raw cabbage salad with tea for lunch. My hair took under 2 hours, fortunately, and I was able to finish up a few minutes before 3 o'clock. Following that, I vacuumed my room again and then cleaned out the cooler box. While I was moving it on the vacuum the area, I realized that inside the box had not dried out at all, so I manually dried it. There was also the mess that was created by the opened black pepper packet, which I took care of. I actually got an idea to create a powdered spice blend, which I did using black pepper, rosemary, allspice, a little salt, cumin, and mustard. I cannot say what the taste will be like. The day had been very relaxing compared to the past couple of weeks. It was also really nice weather outside, though it had gotten a bit warmer after early afternoon. But I decided to do some Sudoku while I listened to Sunday's English service. I had listened to 2 other services earlier that day. I just wanted to stay in the calm atmosphere for as long as possible. But it was not to be so, as shortly after that I had to start getting ready to meet my friend at 5 o'clock at her house. I set off on my bicycle around 4:35. It was a nice and cool afternoon, and I didn't ride too hard, which meant I didn't sweat too much, as usual. While I was on my way, I took a chance to return a call while keeping an eye out for the police. I ended the call once I got to my friend's mansion door so she could buzz me in. She told me earlier that we were both going to try and order free food again after the failed attempt the last time. Not that it failed, but the delivery person did not turn up at the apartment. Both orders were a success. I wanted to try Korean food, which was a total flop. Full of oil, everything was fried, and tasted nothing like what I had enjoyed in South Korea. My friend went with a more Japanese-styled meal. Once they both arrived, just a few minutes apart, we shared and blessed the meal. My set was really huge, but wrapped in so much plastic. My friend's meal, which was 500 yen lower, was only in one main container with a raw egg in another very small container. The egg, unfortunately, got broken as my friend was putting it in the fridge. None of us could eat everything, and so I got the chance to take home the leftovers, for which I was really thankful. After resting a few minutes after eating, it was almost 8 p.m. and time to go home. We both had work early the next morning. I returned home just around 8:30 with free food and a museum ticket, what I had gone there for initially. I couldn't believe I had almost gotten lost on my way home. This because I didn't want to wait on the stoplights, and so I passed the familiar turn on the opposite side of the road, which I couldn't get to because of the median in the road. I did eventually, of course, make my way home, but it took a little longer than normal. On the flip side of that, I also learned about how the roads were connected in that area. Once home, I watched the time keenly as I didn't want to go to bed late, but I still ended up going around 10:30. It was a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining with me on today's entry. Please support me by leaving a comment or sharing this with someone who you think might enjoy hearing about free food, free fried food. Remember to follow my blog at stacypersonallyspeaking.wordpress.com to get posts directly into your inbox so you can read them if that's your thing. Bye for now. Stay safe and God bless you.